Hi, folks. I'm at 14 seconds on my end.
See, I'm at 3, 5, 6. Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And we got Gary back from Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
In one piece. No bears
Yes.
got
It was a grand time. For those of you that have not been there, I hope you have the opportunity to go. It is absolutely glorious there. And for those of you that have been there, we know. It's just amazing. I'm not a huge nature person, but there's something special about Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Especially what I would call the shoulder seasons, which are, it's a very big ski place in the winter. So basically from Christmas until March, it's very crowded. And in the summertime, so basically from June through Labor Day, Memorial Day through Labor Day, it's really busy. Other than those times when the crowds are gone, it's great because you've got that whole place to yourself. It's really nice.
To yourself just means it's not high tourist season.
Yeah.
You hardly have it to yourself.
Although if you get up early enough, apparently around Thanksgiving, you have a lot of Tahoe to yourself.
That I would believe.
Yeah, so we're back. I got the tire patched on Laura's car. Dave's probably not aware of that. I told you about the nail we picked up.
Yeah, they ran over a nail.
Yeah. So I was able to get the tire patched, but I went ahead and ordered a set of tires from Costco because I don't want to go through that again, that car. So
how much tread left is on the tires?
I'm not entirely sure, but she's got like 55,000 miles on the car, and those tires are 7 or 8 years old. It's time.
Okay.
You've gotten most of the goodness out of those tires.
Kind of like the way we changed the tires on the Mazda before we took it on a return trip home from Washington.
Yep.
A couple years ago, I had bought a Mazda Miata with 17,000 miles on it, and I think it was a 2007, and it had the original tires on it.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the tires 15 years old on the car.
Yeah, so needless to say, even though the tires had plenty of tread left, it was time to change the tires, especially if you're about to make an 800-mile 2-day
excursion
back home.
Yeah, sometimes
I'm driving home there, I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? This is something I should have been doing in my 20s.
Yeah,
in my 50s.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes you make your own good luck, Yeah. So that's what I'm doing because I don't want, it's one thing where we were is kind of remote. And if that tire had really been in trouble, we'd be rolling around on the donut. And I don't know if I really want to go over the Donner Summit on a donut tire.
Well, as long as you have plenty of food in the car, you should be fine.
Well, the thing is, a lot of modern cars don't even have the donut spare. They have a can of Fix-A-Flat.
Yeah.
And
the Donner Party didn't even have a Fix-A-Flat.
No, they had a spare wagon wheel and an ox strapped to the back of the wagon there.
No, they ate the ox. There was no ox left at that point.
So we need to talk about your favorite branch of government, the House of Representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Because, with my favorite Congresswoman MTG leaving the House, the majority, the Republican majority is starting to get thinner and thinner. And I was reading an article about her where she was talking to some right-wing podcaster who was trying to call her out about, well, you need to finish your 2-year term. And she kind of unloaded on him. It's like, you know what? You're sitting there behind a screen making these comments. You're not out there having people threatening your your life and your family's life. Why don't you get off from behind the screen and go do something? And basically the article is, what's that? Yes, the irony wasn't lost on me.
Exactly.
But the article went on to say that there's several other Republican Congress people that are considering doing the same thing Marjorie Taylor Greene was they're kind of done with it, and they're thinking of leaving early because they don't want to be primaried by Trump, and they're starting to lose faith in dear leader.
And Punchbowl News, I guess, was the one that was breaking this story, saying that a lot of Republican congressmen, especially in the House, they're done. Mike Johnson is made a mockery of the House. Trump is steamrolling them, and that's because Mike Johnson wants it that way. They're disrespected. They don't get any type of encouragement or props or anything like that. And as it was described, morale is really, really low. So it kind of an read between the lines moment. They're like, well, maybe we'll just leave early. And if enough of us leave, then the Democrats get to be in charge. Mm-hmm. And now you don't have your gavel anymore, Mike. How does that feel? It's the ultimate FU.
They can totally take the gavel out because right now all you need is one person to.
I think they changed that rule.
Oh, did they? They finally get rid of it?
Changed that, but still, if they did remove Mike Johnson, the Republicans have nobody to put in there that would that would get a majority of votes.
Yeah, they barely got Johnson in there.
So, and it would be a rebuke to Trump as well. Mm-hmm. These guys retire or decide to do other things and they're no longer members of the House, the Democrats take over. And they know if Hakeem Jeffries is going to be your majority leader at that point. And the government made fun. And you know what? It could be their way of saving the country by forcing Congress to gridlock and not advance Trump's agenda and push back on his agenda.
Yeah.
In a weird way, they're walking out is the most patriotic thing they can do.
Yeah. So let's take a look at that.
Which is weird because they could just vote against that. But here's the thing. Mike Johnson would still be in power. Mike Johnson would be bringing things to the floor or not bringing things to the floor. So you have to have the Democrats do that. So yes, let's go ahead and look at that.
Let's take a look at the House of Representatives. Dave's talking about the morale. Let's look at the Republican morale and what they're thinking about the future. Entertainment purposes only.
Clearly.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy post-Thanksgiving because this will go up.
Foundation of the reading is the Hermit card, and I think the card underneath I felt there earlier before I reshuffled. So this was a card that definitely wanted to come out. So finding that path forward, feeling isolated, feeling like we've lost our way. It's kind of like the Republican Party has finally they are so far off the path they don't know where the path is anymore. They've lost the trail.
It's part of Trump's weave.
Yeah, the cross of challenges. There's so much work that needs to be done, and they want to get work done, but right now it's the Republicans. They're all about clickbaiting their social media. They put out social media posts for clicks, and as opposed to actually doing work, which goes to Dave's point about feeling disrespected because they're not getting anything. They're not doing anything for their constituents, and they're not getting any kind of rewards for their loyalty. And that was the card that was underneath earlier, I'm pretty sure. The World card. It's the end of a cycle. I just want this to be over and done with. In the past, the King of Swords, the voters spoke with their voices, or they did what they were told to do. Really, current energy is the Six of Swords. Get us out of here. We're tired of this. I just want to get away from this. Overarching energy is the Ten of Pentacles. It's the legacy card. It's the end of this. It's either they're trying to preserve their legacy or they're tired of trying to preserve Trump's legacy. The lesson to be learned, the Lover's card. There's a deeper relationship that you have to have with your constituents. It's a representative democracy. It's not an authoritarian democracy where you tell your constituents how to think. They're supposed to be representing their constituents and they can't always represent it because Trump is telling them what to do. And that could be what this King of Swords is Trump's, my endorsement, my leadership is what got you there. And you'll support my legacy, even though you want to leave. And the lesson to be learned is you don't serve him, you serve the people. And the outcome is the Four Cups. Not happy with the choices that they have in front of you. And this also goes to what Dave was saying, where the most patriotic thing they could do might be just to leave. And that's what that cup is, because it's not necessarily the first thing that would come to your mind is that the best thing I could do is not do this job anymore. You have to really do some introspection. You really have to have a hermit card to think, you know what? I don't think this is what I want to do. Because the default is you ran for this role and you won this role because you wanted to do something. But it's like, this isn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do things that were beneficial to my constituents. And now all I want to do is get the hell out of here. That's what I got. So, yeah, I think that article was accurate in as much as there are probably a lot of Republicans or enough Republicans that have considered this following Marjorie Taylor Greene's footsteps, where it could swing the House majority. The question is, how many of them would actually pull the trigger, and what's the timing going to be on this?
Right. So that's where I'm going to go with it. Will enough of them leave Congress that Mike Johnson has to that the Democrats take control before the end of this term?
Okay. And, Kevin McCarthy said the same thing, didn't he, before he quit? He had made some allusion to there's a lot of other people that are ready to do this too. And he made some comment like that, but obviously that did not transpire the way.
Right. And this may not transpire either, other than McCarthy actually led some people, and Johnson, whatever he is.
Yeah.
And that's not an endorsement of McCarthy.
No, not at all.
Okay, so, God dang it. We got the Lover's card and the Knight of Wands. Stop it. Will enough Republicans retire or leave Congress before the elections such that the Democrats take control of the House before the end of the year? Basically, the Democrats will take control of the House, assuming that they crush in the election in January. The question is, will enough Republicans retire for the Democrats to do that sooner rather than later?
Yep.
Okay. Foundation of the reading is the Nine of Coins. Part of it is the money there's money to be made in Congress, as Marjorie Taylor Greene has shown.
Yeah. That was my first thought is, hey, I'm kind of enjoying some of the finer things of life here.
Ooh.
But
money to be made versus integrity and the risk it takes to make that money. Being in the House of Representatives is a cush job. You have to constantly fundraise every 2 years. So that's a frustrating aspect of it. But because they're always doing fundraising, there are always opportunities to take a little here, skim a little there. But you have integrity and taking the good with the bad. The O part was the justice card underneath it. Some of these folks might be getting while the getting's good because they've made their money and they don't want to face the consequences of questionable decisions.
I agree.
Kind of like, okay, I got my money, and now I better run because the law is coming. But the question is, will they do this before the election is done? In the past, you got the Moon card, the secrets, the the things that you could do behind the scenes that nobody saw.
Mm-hmm.
Current situation is temperance. In some ways, what's happening now with the Trump administration is a bridge too far, even for the folks that like this job and they like all the perks it gives. At some point, the perks aren't worth it. And I think people are coming to that realization the perks aren't worth it. And there's a reckoning that comes with this. Overarching energy is the Queen of Cups. So right now they're keeping their mouth shut. But it's one of those things. If Donald Trump is basically, if he's found in these Epstein files, they're either going to have to disavow Trump. They have to see how this is going to play out, because Trumpers are the types that threaten you, and they don't like that. Lesson to be learned is the Hangman. Boy, there's a lot of major arcana in this. Looking at things in a new perspective, being afraid of being tossed under the bus. This, I think, is the message here. This is the message. They're trying to exercise their power, saying, we will throw you under the bus. Mike Johnson, we will throw you under the bus. Donald Trump, we will throw you under the bus. Back off. We will do it. They want to hold on to their cash. Now, I asked if they would leave before the end of the election cycle. It really, in some ways, it really depends on what type of wealth they can take with them. That sounds, what a cop-out. I wanted a yes or no answer, and what I got is, well, they'll decide with I don't think of the coins as being values. I mean, it could be coming with values and trying to hold on to the values that you have. It certainly fits with the integrity card, but I don't know how many of these guys had values, and it could very well be that the House members with values, and there may be 4 of them, decide that their values are more important than the money that they make in that job. And they're not going to broadcast it because Trump will make their world toxic. So it's better just to go and let the cards fall where they may. Let them fall where they may. Nobody knows. Round and around it goes. So I think 4 more congressmen is going to be my guess.
Okay.
4 more leave, likely before the election, and let Mike Johnson figure that out. And 4, I think, is the magic number that you're going to need for the Democrats to then have the majority, because it was like 220 to 215, and Marjorie Taylor Greene just left, so that makes it 219 to 215. And there's like 3 special elections going on right now, and the Democrats are looking to pick up a seat, I think, in those elections.
At least one, because one of the ladies became a governor, I thought, in New Jersey.
Regardless, there's 3 open seats.
Okay, yeah.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene just made it 4.
Yeah. She's pretty deep red, so it's not likely the Dems are going to pick up.
The Tennessee one is deep red, but the latest polling had the woman in there within 2 percentage points in a district that went plus 22 for Trump. So there's a lot of discontent. But I think if you get 4 people leave on top of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think that's enough to get the Dems in power. I just don't know the current numbers.
Okay, so how about this? Will the House of Representatives change direction prior to November of 2026?
I mean, they'll go south instead of north? What?
Yeah, change political direction before November of 2026. How's that? A little 4-carder. 4 of Wands. Parties working together and celebrating. Looking at actions that impact our future. They got new messaging coming forward, new actions being taken, and new things of value. And underneath it, because somebody changed their perspective. I think what this is, what's telling me is the Democrats have an opportunity. They can change the messaging that's coming out of the House, and this opportunity is going to present themselves. And they can work, if they work together, they can affect the course that is going in the future. So I'm getting a big fat yes. Now that doesn't necessarily mean the Democrats are going to be in control of the House, but they might have enough influence to change the direction of the House. So we're no longer going down the Project 2025 or whatever the hell they're calling it these days route. Are they calling it America First? Someone was mentioning that in the comments.
That's
because
I think that's what they're calling the Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, there's you've got MAGA and America First, and America First is just MAGA that wants the Epstein files released, or something along those lines. Oh no, I think well, it's that in Israel, so there's it's like two factions that don't see eye to eye.
So you got the Judean People's Front, the People's Front of Judea,
pretty much.
Okay.
Currently, according to the HousePressGallery.gov, 219 Republicans, 213 Democrats, and 3 vacancies. But that doesn't include Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No.
Well, I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene that'll be 218 and 213
with 5 openings.
And of the 3 current open seats, 2 were for Democrats. 1 died in office, 1 resigned, and then a Republican in Tennessee resigned. So if we hold true with those, no upsets, the Republicans would be back to 219 after Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. The Democrats would be at 215. So if 4 Republicans resign, then you've got a tie.
Yep.
Depending on who fills Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. It's so confusing right now. It's all up in the air.
Well, and that's kind of where I've got that going on that final read, is that if the Democrats get a majority to be so slim that they really do need to work with the Republicans to get things. If you're willing to work together, you can move. There's opportunities to change the messaging, and opportunities will present themselves.
Yeah, well, it seems like right now in the political climate under Donald Trump, that's not allowed. Yeah. And in the extremism that's developed over the last, basically since Obama became president of the United States, the extremism and racism, basically, for those 8 years, has come screaming to the forefront. And now it becomes normal not to actually work with your colleagues across the aisle.
Right. And I'm pretty sure Dave's not suggesting that Obama caused it. It was the reaction from the Republicans to Obama becoming president. The division became.
That is exactly what I mean. That a bunch of white people got really upset and scared that a black man was in charge of this country, and we can't be having that.
Nope. All right, that's what I've got. You got anything else you want to read on?
So we started watching Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. She did a reading on this one. I stopped listening when she got to the point where she's starting to throw if this is going to happen or not. So I don't know what she came up with.
Oh no!
Right now, to me, it seems like for me on my reading, it's up in the air. But I think some Republicans will resign or retire prior to the election, and it's really going to be very close to a 50-50 split in the House. What are you banging out there?
Oh, I've got my rainbow obsidian.
Oh,
my favorite little rock that you gave me.
Anyways, thank you very much for watching. What did you get anyways? I wasn't paying attention. I was reading a story.
Oh,
on the party breakdown.
I got the 4 of Wands.
That's right. Okay. Keep going.
And then the 2 wands underneath it. Page of Wands.
Yeah, that sounds like it swaps. 4 of Wands is like the new party coming in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Paying attention. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and paying attention to Gary's reading, even when I don't. He appreciates it.
I do appreciate that. If you like these videos, I appreciate that too. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll wake you up with a new one. You can see David not paying attention, or at least you can feel that he's not paying attention. Leave a comment. I read them all and respond to many, even if I don't pay a lot of attention to them.
Just trying to do research.
For what it's worth, I knew you were up to something because you weren't jumping in on the card. So
yeah,
I thought, oh,
yeah,
he's up to something.
The math is so it's so close, and there's so many open seats and things that they haven't announced yet. Yeah. Anyway, so do you have any shout outs you want to give?
I do. I've got a shout out to Sherry B and
Sherry B,
Uncle Leo and Katie Bug, the super kitties.
We have the Friskies seafood buffet card.
And then
Our
I've got
cats don't like the seafood. It does not agree with them.
H Orphan or Horphan. Her cat Bud has already crossed the Rainbow Bridge. But now I have a 7-year-old black shepherd named Jack. Great security, thanks to us both.
And Jack needs help. He needs a white shepherd to go with him.
Melwood says her kitty Pinto says hello. She's 17, a sophisticated gal who loves wet food.
Our cats look at wet food and go, "Oh, thank you very much. We really want this." They lick the juice and they walk away.
You know what it's like? It's like our oldest sister fell victim to the SpaghettiOs advertising campaign.
God. Yeah.
Our parents love to tell the story about how I went dark on me for a second. Love to tell the story about how our oldest sister was really lobbying hard for SpaghettiOs.
Of course, mind you. So this is going to be her probably 1964, 65.
Yeah, I'd say early mid 60s, right? Yeah. She's probably 3 or 4 years old.
Think about how the Chef Boyardee commercials were hitting hard back then.
Oh yeah. And she was like a typical kid, hey, Chef Boyardee, SpaghettiOs, they're delicious. And so they bought her a can of it. They served it to her. She had one bite and went, and my parents never let her live that one down.
I don't think I've ever had them.
I don't think I have either. But as I've gotten older as an adult and thought about, okay, they have put spaghetti noodles in a can with tomato sauce, and it's been sitting there for how long? Tasty. Yeah, I'm sure they're wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's overly sugared tomatoes too. It probably tastes really nasty.
Nancy Kingfisher has a spoiled symmetrical tabby named Nipsey. Hi, Nipsey. Like Nipsey Russell.
Ah, I like Nipsey Russell.
Yeah.
And we get you the 2 of coins.
And then we'll wrap it up with Soul Popping Art Studio. Now there you go. There's a name for you. 3 tabby cats who are orange. One is Pumpkin Pie. The gray one is Strommy, maybe Stormy, and the brown one is called Baby.
And I give you the King of Cups and the Black Cat, who just
hey,
I don't know why he ran away.
He couldn't compete with Baby. Nobody.
Maybe he saw not David. Said, a black cat. What are you doing, you goof?
Nobody puts Nico in the corner. Oh, yes. Time to go into the black void with the green eyes.
So apparently I was wearing a really dark navy blue sweatshirt the other day. And the light went down, like the auto thing went down like this. All you saw were a pair of yellowy green eyes emanating from my chest.
That's perfect. And you wonder how Dave is so good about reading these cards. And then a card for the rest of us. You got the world card. Hang in there. This timeline has come to an end. I don't think it's even coming. I think we are at the end at this point.
Yeah. And again, he's going to jump up again. This guy just doesn't learn. You're going to get picked up and kissed like the last time. Trump is not long for this world. He just isn't. His health is miserable. And I've been watching more and more videos where they look at how he swings his right leg. He's wearing braces in his legs now. And he swings his leg around. He has a very short gait and a wide stance, which is, as this one physical therapist, a dude with 14 years experience, he's a PhD, he's basically analyzing him as if it was his patient, watching him walk, watching the things he does. And it's like, yeah, this guy's had probably a bunch of mini strokes and stuff like that, and he can't walk. He can't do these things. And literally, it's just a matter of time And Trump's not even taking the big steps up Air Force One anymore. He's taking the short steps into the cargo area.
Oh,
This dude is gonna take a tumble down some stairs or something like that. You know, he's gonna collapse in front of everyone, kind of like Mitch McConnell did the other day. He doesn't have the strength. He can't do the job. They're just Stephen Miller and Scott Bessent and these other ones are running the government right now. Trump is literally the dried out husk of the dancing monkey. They're pulling the strings hard, trying to get this dancing monkey to actually dance. We're at the end. We'll get there. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.